Hello, my loves, and welcome back to BehatiLife YouTube channel. If you're meeting for the first time, welcome. For those of you that are old friends and family, welcome back. I don't know how I'm feeling about the layout today at my altar. It feels a little crowded these days. And this little tree right here, this plant on my left, might have a frog in it. So don't be surprised if you see a little head poking out. She might be gone, but she might be lingering. So she might be joining us for our reading this afternoon. Speaking of readings, my intuition, the messages, the downloads have been very, very intense lately. My dreams have been incredibly vivid, and I'm having like back to back multiple prophetic dreams for myself, for the future, for my friends, my family. And I just came back from a quick lunch date with some friends that I hadn't seen in a minute. And I just felt the people that we were walking by, I'm like, I almost have to stop and tell them, like, listen, this is something that's going to happen in your life. You should be aware of this. It's just been involuntary. So I knew that I wanted to come to my altar today to shuffle and pull cards and also finish up some of the readings that I've had on the waiting list. So I wanted to take a moment right now and connect. Let's set the intention that this reading be for everyone's highest and greatest good, for those or the person that this reading is meant for, that it reach them with perfect divine timing. I ask for clarity, discernment. I ask for clarity within the visions, things that I'm hearing, and the ability to pass that message over to those who it's meant for. I also set intention for protection for that person or those people who are watching and tuning in now. You may see my hands shaking, but again, it's just been like a lot of surge of energy lately. We just had an eclipse, a few eclipses. So there's a nod towards the last eclipses, the changes that were initiated from the last eclipse. Specifically, the first card to jump out is the Knight of Wands. Next card to jump out is the Nine of Wands, speaking of energy. The next card to jump out is the Emperor reversed. Then we have Strength reversed. Ten of Cups. Sun card. Let me sit with these messages or these cards right now and see if there's any messages that are coming through. I heard the word Tatum, or I'm also seeing something connected to, Tulum, maybe like Mexico, going somewhere, taking a trip, venturing off to Mexico. I'm also seeing someone going on a cruise. There's some recognition about going on a cruise, going on a trip, travel. I'm seeing, okay, this is so random. I heard the word like I heard the word mouthwash, like someone packing like little small trial sets. I'm also seeing someone, maybe if you're not going on a trip, but it's like the way that you're moving in life right now, you're packing a lot of small things, like a travel set, something about like being prepared or not wanting to be caught on like, I just heard the word unexpected, like not wanting to face unexpected circumstances, wanting to be prepared for everything. I'm also seeing a connection to stationery, being organized, being prepared. It's giving dot the I's, cross the T's. It's giving Virgo energy, although you don't necessarily have to be a Virgo, or this doesn't have to connect to a Virgo energy. It has a lot to do with getting organized, getting prepared. This isn't a warning for the future. This is more about helping you feel more in control, and the word is capable, of your life, because you feel like you'll be ready for anything. Some of you guys have had, I'm seeing a vision of a fishbowl, a round fishbowl, one of those vintage fish bowls, and you've been sitting in this water. The energy that it is I'm getting is a feeling of like powerlessness, where there's an emphasis on the water that can be poured into the bowl. It could be someone thinks that they're doing something that's good for you, but it could be poisonous to you. I don't know if you guys have ever taken care of fish before, you have to actually put in like drops sometimes into the fish tank, or else the chlorine, the chemicals that are in the water that fish, like fish normally live in water, but it's like someone is so disconnected from what your needs are and how to care for you or how to tend to you, that the way that they move, their negligence and their lack of education, their lack of asking questions, they didn't do the research in order to know how to handle you, is why they dropped you. And now from this place, you don't want, I'm hearing, you don't want to be taken advantage of. You don't want to let your guard slip. You don't want to be in a place where you're vulnerable, waiting for someone or something to provide for you when you want to be able to provide for yourself. They're showing me the fish tank, this fish bowl, which is so interesting too, because I'm not even into aquariums. I really appreciate them. I think they're beautiful. But I also think about like a lack of oxygen in the fish bowl, and like how there should probably be something kind of pumping the air. There's something about being in a temporary situation that you're not, that environment that you were once in was not, or this place or this situation or this season in your life was not meant to carry you for the long haul. I don't want to use such a heavy word like trauma, but it's like you lived, you learned, and now you won't find yourself in that same position, that same place, trying to survive in a place where they weren't informed, they weren't educated, they didn't do the research, they didn't do the work to get to know you better so that you could exist. And that's why you couldn't thrive. Like, that's why it wasn't meant to thrive. Now, this fishbowl could represent a family dynamic. The fishbowl can represent a relationship. The fishbowl can represent a career, a job. The problem is that your angels, your guides right now are trying to let you know that this is no fault of your own. Just like if you go to PetSmart and it's socially acceptable, it's a part of society that if you want to go to if you want to get a fish, if you want to build a fish tank, or if you're trying to develop responsibility, it makes sense for people to be like, oh, let's get a fish and let's practice. But that fish is so vulnerable. That fish did nothing to deserve the right treatment or the wrong treatment. It's almost a matter of fate and karma and where that fish ends up. They're comparing you to that fish, and how there's nothing that you could have done to attract, to pair up with the right family, with the right place, with the right position. It's just a matter of, and then they're saying like, but look at you though, you survived. And now there's a connection between your survival and you wanting to be prepared. I heard I can't tell if the word was guard, like it was something that is connected to the word guard, like being on guard, being on edge, which is funny because you do have the Nine of Wands here. Now let me look at the cards a little bit better, because I was just first channeling. First of all, just me now, Jess, coming through. I just want to say thank you guys again for being here, for allowing me to read energy, because if I wasn't reading energy for the collective, then I would just be shuffling for strangers on the street. And it just is something that I've always been doing for my life, and maybe will be doing for the rest of my life. And it's just such a blessing, and I just always have to express gratitude. But now just going back into your reading. Some of you guys I just heard really loud, clear, like you're doing a job well done, like well done, well done, well done. They want to give you congratulations. They want to give you accolades. Some of you guys you started off on a new venture, you might have been trying to find a new place to live, like really trying to find a new place, a new apartment, a new city, a new town. You had these visions, some of you guys are journaling, you've talked to your friends about this, and some of you might actually feel, I'm just really channeling a lot right now, some of you guys might actually feel like embarrassment because you told your friends, you told the people or whoever this is, like, this is what I'm doing, and then it just collapsed. Like, it felt like you got sabotaged. Not that it was intentional, but it just didn't pan out, it didn't play out. And now you're like looking at your life, and you have to pick up the pieces. And for some of you guys, you would have been like, I would have been better off not planning. I would have been better off staying local. That's what I'm hearing. But the truth is that you need to hear and know that there's so much that you learned about yourself in the planning process, and your angels and your guide spirit wants you to focus on the fact that you had the energy, and I just heard the word entice, the fact that something enticed you to go out, to venture out, when before you might have been very stubborn and stuck in your way and just kind of like not even considering venturing out. They want you to focus on how quickly you were ready to start over, to revamp, to get a fresh lease on life. Even if it didn't pan out, even if it wasn't successful, even if it didn't go the long haul. And now that your life is in shambles, right? From the way that you look at it, this needed to happen because now you need to refresh your space and rebuild it in the way that fits you. And if everything is chaotic, then start throwing away or getting rid of or replacing or selling the things that no longer fit you. If you didn't have this sudden urge to shift, to change, to go on a new venture, to start this new adventure, to go into this new place, everything would have stayed exactly the same within your space, including the dust, including the dirt. There's parts and cracks and crevices of your place that would have been left untouched. And it was when you were quickly trying to pick up your life and rebuild and do something different that those parts started getting moved. They started being remote. They started shifting. So now that they shifted, start cleaning and clearing out and start rebuilding your space as if you moved, because it is like a fresh start. It is like a fresh start. This season has already begun is what I'm hearing. Oh, wow. I don't know what that was just now, but this season has already begun. And even though you may be in the same place, the same situation, or the environment around you hasn't changed, the fact is that there was a major change within you. And it started when you were initiated by the changes. It might have even happened during the eclipse. The eclipse might have contributed to the collapse of the goals, the plans. It makes sense too, because at the time of me recording, we're exiting out of Mercury retrograde, which means that you were in the thick of it. Mercury retrograde has a tendency to kind of switch our plans up and make us pivot from different directions. Like we think that we're going this way and all of a sudden we're like, psych, nah. Or you're not moving at all. Like, good luck with that. This message was for me, but I'm just going to say it out loud just in case it resonates with someone. I heard the word authenticity and authentic. Just honoring the fact that you are showing up authentic, and I really appreciate, Spirit, the fact that you included me in this reading. Thank you. I needed that. Thank you. And orange juice, which is funny because I'm drinking it right here. So good. Okay, back to them. Someone here needs to start opening up to new friendships. People who are cordial. You're someone who, it's not that you're not friendly. To your core, you're a genuinely friendly person. You are open-hearted, but you're coming across shy and withdrawn. When if people actually saw you and knew you for who you actually are, you would have a lot of friendships. There's some best friend and some connections that are coming in the near future. Very strong friendships, girl sisterhood or best friends that you would not recognize yourself. If you could see these friendships, you would be like, I can't live without these people like in my life, and they're such the biggest blessing. But I think this is someone who's so used to being a loner and like writes a lot of their thoughts, or has a lot of like pen pal friendships and connections in the community, is something that is sprinkled around. I'm like that too, so don't feel bad. There's something about getting out, venturing out, even though your space is changing a lot. There's a lot of emphasis on the changing of your home environment. Getting out, going to coffee shops, going to different events, like really getting out into the community and opening up your energy, opening up your chest. I'm seeing someone like when they show up, their shoulders are hunched in. It's like it curves in. Open your chest. Put your chest out, like almost to make your breast lead the way, like let them lead. Sometimes you think in the past you might be intimidating or you might be teased, or you might, when you get looked at, it's a problem. These people, spirit is setting you up to make friendships, to make connections, to build your community. And this is going to be genuine sisterhood. For some of you guys, you're of that motto of like no new friends. You're not really used to or accustomed to, is what I've heard. You're not accustomed to making new friendships. You kind of like keeping things the status quo, but I'm getting a vision of the fishbowl. Now that you're getting moved into this new aquarium where you're being introduced to new things, it's like you're being quarantined right now. But soon you're going to emerge with the rest of them. And instead of you being the fly on the wall, you're going to see like, wow, like I'm really accepted here in this place. I also want to hyper focus on the diversity of these connections, how different. This could be someone from a totally different continent, like totally different continent, to the point where you, in the future, you're going to end up visiting that person's family and be welcomed within that family. It's going to change you. It's going to change you. It's going to change you. It's going to change you because you're going to find a sense of community in a place where you never felt, where there was lack. And that culture is going to resonate stronger than your culture. Trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me on that. It's the wall. There's this mentality of like the walls that separate us. I don't know if that quote kind of resonates with someone, but it's this mentality. Oh my God, I just got chills. Whoa, that was so strong. It's like this wall that separates you from the rest of the world, or like, let's say if you're someone who lives in New York or Cleveland, right? And everybody kind of stays to themselves in their own bubble. You don't really ask your neighbor how they're doing. They don't say hi. And then you're used to doing things independent. But that community, I just heard, is destabilized. It's not stable. Like everybody's kind of coexisting, but if something was to happen, that whole community would come crashing down. Versus if you go to a tribe, like where people do operate as a tribe, as a family, everyone's sharing and knows everybody's businesses and helping people. So no one's weak because together they're strong. That's where you belong. Let me focus on the Emperor card here, because okay, this is interesting. Someone's father isn't doing well, like really not doing well. This makes me sad. This may have to do with a condition or something that was troubling them. They thought that it was something that would pass, or that it was benign, like it wasn't an issue. They feel like it's resolved. There needs to be a second or third opinion when it comes to the father figure or grandfather figure or uncle or older. Like to you, this person's going to be older, like an elder or something. There needs to be a second or third opinion. Like their energy, let's say they're like, okay, something happened to them, but their energy didn't come back. Like it didn't come back in full. They might be lethargic. They might be sleepy, or they might be calling themselves lazy. But there's more to this issue or something about them feeling something in one part of their body that seems unrelated is actually spirit's way of trying to point the direction to look more deeper into this part of their body, because there's an underlying issue. I'm hearing sooner is better, like sooner is better. So the sooner you hear, or the sooner this is discovered, or the sooner that this is seen, the better. I heard the word reproach, R-E-P-R-O, reproach, P-R-O-A-C-H, reproach, or repressed. So if someone can leave the definition of reproach down below, I'd really appreciate it. Or something is being repressed right now, or being pushed down. This is giving, let's say if someone pulled a muscle in like a back or something, and then that issue is so like they're working on rebuilding it, but their energy doesn't come back, and it's kind of like they're still having pain. Then when the doctors are trying to figure out, thinking like, okay, the issue is your back because this is what happened, but it's really like kidneys. But it feels like back pain. You know what I mean? Like it's like, pay attention, like they're saying like connect the dots. Sometimes the dots are connected in the wrong place, so you can't actually see how the lines are connected because they're attached to the wrong things. I'm also seeing, I do medical astrology. Using a medical astrology chart will help pinpoint the actual origin, not of the pain, but of the problem, because the pain is not the problem. The problem is underlying. This person has like lethargy, that like they're tired. Their energy is like, I just heard like they're moving at like half mast, like they're not at their full capacity. They're at like halfway point, and they think that, oh, like ever since I hurt my back. So when they go to the doctor and they're talking to the doctor about the back issue, the doctors are swayed into looking at the back problem when there's an actual underlying energy. It was the issue of the back being, that's a metaphor, but, or an example, but look into the kidneys. If this father figure or this person has issues with kidneys, this is another sign. Like, this is a clear cut sign to do, ask for a second or third opinion, or go to the doctor and just be like, can you screen my kidneys or something. The next thing that I want to talk about, Spirit is moving on to like resentment, not towards yourself, but to others. But then what other people say kind of fuels the resentment that you have towards yourself or your own progress in life. I just heard they want you to give that up. Like, give that up. Like, give that up. For some of you guys, it's this dream, this goal that it is that you want. You think you want this. Wow. You think that you want this, but really what it is a desire to prove something within yourself, that you weren't capable, or you're incapable, or that you can't pivot, you can't be successful, you can't move and do differently. Spirit is trying to pull you in a different direction because you have exhausted all resources in this area. It's giving like career or business or some goal that you have, that you've done well enough within it, but it's time to let it go. That's not your destiny, is to stay in that same place, in that same way, churning. If you really sat with yourself, and I'm hearing, if you really sat with us, this means your ancestors, your angels, your guides. And if specifically your ancestors are coming through and saying, like, we have a legacy here. Like, we have a legacy, we have patterns, we have things that we do. And this is in your blood. You are overlooking that. And you keep trying to, it's like being in the medical field or being a nurse. Ooh, girl. Sorry, I'm just like feeling a lot. It's like being a nurse and constantly showing up and giving, and like always being exhausted at the end of the day, but you are actually a traveler. Like, you are actually a pioneer. Your ancestors were pioneers, and you are meant to travel. You're meant to go the distance. You're meant to go great lengths. You have the countenance, I think is what I'm hearing, like the body, the mind, the energy to do that. But if you keep showing up as a nurse, then by the time you travel, by the time you go, or by the time you sit down, you're so exhausted you can't even book that flight. So they're saying, be open to this pivot. I just heard, be open to life being strange. Some of you guys are so hyper fixated on keeping life normal, and that's your problem. And that is your problem. You don't want to change. You don't want to disrupt. But we are disruptors. We are agitators. We are advocates. We are change agents. That's what your ancestors are saying. We go the mile. We go the extra distance. We don't stop ourselves. We don't sabotage ourselves. You're sabotaging yourself by showing up in the same place. We know that there's a reason why you do that, like practical root chakra reasons for why you do that, but you don't have to do that any longer. Be open to strange. Be open to strange. I'm also hearing non-committed. So for some of you guys, you might have to switch from a job that is very committed to non-committal. You have an opportunity to do something that is not a 9 to 5. This is going to give you more opportunity to venture out and take on different odd jobs or different projects and get pulled in different directions. Spirit will provide, ancestors will lead. Spirit will provide, ancestors lead. Spirit, provide, ancestors lead. That's almost like a prayer, a mantra, or intention that you set, an affirmation to actually activate these doors to open up for you. Welcome. I heard welcome, welcome, welcome. You're welcome. This is also really random, but I'm seeing the book Eat, Pray, Love. And someone was inspired by that book, or it brought them it activated something within them where they're like, oh my God, that's me. That's my reality. Like, I don't want children. I don't, that's not my dream. That's not the dream of my life. I see this, everything that you want, you can have. It's just going to be strange. It's going to be different. And strange is good. Strange is good. Someone is like lining up crystals. Someone's looking into like a crystal and you see it like a crystal ball, like you're trying to look into the future. You actually have a gift for this, so don't think that you're crazy. I'm also seeing a connection to New York City, specifically New York. I don't know if there's like a crystal that you got from New York that you picked up in New York, or from someone in New York. You're like looking into it, gazing into it. It might, yeah, I'm getting like a connection to something someone gives you as a gift. It could be like a stranger. I don't know why New York is coming through, but it definitely is, specifically Manhattan or Queens. New York's been coming up through a lot lately, though. Someone, or maybe someone, this is so random and so odd, but someone might be hiding in New York, like hiding out, like hiding away from the world, shuttering themselves in, not really venturing out. This is coming from a place of hurt feelings and misunderstanding. I don't know why you need to hear this, but I'm just passing on the message. You've misunderstood something. And this is also might be rooted to your childhood and how you felt like overlooked, underseen. You might be looking at like a friend as if they don't see you, like they don't recognize you, like they don't see you, like they don't see you, they don't call, they don't text, they don't look for you. So you made yourself invisible, and now you're hiding with literally the blinds closed. Spirit is actually giving you permission to feel what you got to feel right now, to be honest with you. But you can't stay in that place forever. They're seeing you more relying on family, like really relying on your family connections. If this is not a burn from a friend or connection, it's you just don't feel seen. Like you don't feel seen. You feel like you do a good job, but like you're like going through the motions of life that feels listless. Like you feel another day, clock in, clock out. It's like and then you go home and you just don't want to be seen. You want to disappear. You don't want to. It's like if you go to family events or friend events, you don't stay for long, or you don't stay the whole night. You're gone before you get uncomfortable, which is fine. Spirit, I don't know why they're bringing this up. Like, what's the point? But they're just saying, like, it's okay, but just don't expect to stay in that place for, oh my God, that sounds so cryptic. But they said you're next. So you're not going to be not seen forever. So maybe almost enjoy it for now, because life is about to change pretty quickly, especially when it comes to invitations. You might actually be meeting someone, or like transits. It's this transit within your chart is going to click open an opportunity. It feels delayed right now. This could be Pluto like isolating you. You're just going to you're going to feel the itch to get out. Some of you guys are not looking for like sharing your life with another person. So this is giving this is giving the energy of like you've been through a divorce, or you're not looking for a relationship. You're not looking for love. You're looking for, you needed some time to yourself, and now you need to explore. Now you need to do you, like just do what you want to do for you. And this is where I got a new attitude. Like I'm getting this like new fresh attitude, lipstick, hair curlers. Like, okay. I also heard the word Diane, which is so random, but just fresh. Like we didn't expect her to come out wearing heels. Like it's just something so small, but it's just like it represents the fact that you're just like, and what? I like this. Like this is someone that I'm like, it's the person that you would never say, hey, do you want to go out, or hey, you want to do something, because they always close themselves up before like 7:00 at night, and they're in bed in their pajamas and they're watching their TV show, and they're just like content with that for the most part. All of a sudden they're going to be like, let's call so and so and see if she wants to go out. And you're like, hell yeah, I'm already out. Meet me here. It's like, whoa, whoa, okay. And you're a good time. So just prepare for that. But for some of you guys, it's coming from a place of like just disappointment when it comes to friendships, connections, and just like I heard the word brotherhood, like just being seen and supported and community. And it's just like it didn't pan out the way that you wanted to. So now you're not scorned. It's not coming from a bad place, but you're just like, you know. Someone here also, I think this is the last message. I can feel it kind of quieting down. Someone here needs to really pace themselves. You're doing great things, or you're doing a great thing right now, whatever that thing is. Specifically the sun card. So this is connected to life, vitality, children, creativity, projects, big things. So give yourself a lot of time to develop within this place. They're saying like they're just wanting to tell someone, like, you know, you're doing big things, or you're doing a big thing, so give yourself so much grace. You're too hard on yourself. Other people, I don't know why I'm seeing like people looking, watching you and having concern and like just like sad eyes, like their eyes are sunken in for you, just because they want you to be happy. Like they want you to be happy, they want you to enjoy. And it doesn't seem like, for right now, it just feels like a lot. Like whatever it is, it feels like a lot. And this could be what happens when great things are happening. It's just can be very exhausting, like exhausting a lot. It can be a lot. But soon you're going to be liberated, and soon this is going to be like different, like a new venture, a new, you're not going to regret it. Like you're going to be, you're not going to remember, you know, like you'll remember the smaller parts, you'll know in general, but for the most part, you'll be liberated. Like there's something here in this process, this journey, that is liberating you, activating a new side of you. There's a lot of newness here. I don't know if you guys are seeing this. Okay, there's another message here for someone who's focusing on fitness, like getting very toned, like really very much struck on the gym or struck on strength training, rebuilding. And Spirit is saying that you're doing this because you're doing this and it's great, but also you need therapy. Like this, the way that they said that and the way that it came out of my mouth. Okay, you need therapy. You need to talk about your feelings, because even though this is a healthy outlet for you to go to the gym, you also need to pour your emotion a little bit more. And they just feel like, because it's like thinking about, okay, think about if you're weight training and you're working on certain muscles, or maybe this has nothing to do with exercise, but they're talking about your healing journey. If you're constantly working out the same muscles, they tend to hit a peak, and they only go as far as your strength training will allow, until you start moving and exercising your muscles and your body in a different way. That's what they're saying for your healing right now when it comes to your emotions. It's time for you to really start cracking into like a geode. I don't know if you guys see the geode. It's like this rock on the outside, this hard exterior. You got to crack it, and we got to look at what's inside. That's what your angels and your guides are asking you to do. And if you are doing strength training right now, they are like, bravo, there's so much energy here, bravo. But also there's this need, you're ready. Like that's what I'm hearing. It's you're ready to talk about these feelings. You're ready to talk about. Also from this place, you're going to be receiving blessings. Some of you guys, this place is coming from a deep sense of loss, like really loss. I just heard like forbidden loss, like things that we shouldn't go through in life, things that we shouldn't feel in life, but because life is fucking weird and so imperfect, it happens. You know, not everybody has the same story, not everybody has the same tale, but this one is yours. And there's something about talking about your feelings and cracking that part of yourself open. Now you're ready to do it, when before you would have collapsed. It was the physical strength training that built you up to be ready to be in this place right now where it's time for you to talk about the hard part of this reality. You're ready now. Like, they just keep saying that you're ready. You're ready. You're ready. You're ready. Okay. See ya. Thank you so much for tuning in. No, let's see. Let's look at some last affirmations here. Some confirmation, some additional confirmation to those who need it. I just saw a pineapple. It's connecting me to like solar plexus energy as well. Pineapple juice or pineapples. This card really wants to jump out, so I'm going to allow it to be here. I just heard Spirit saying, you're just too hard on yourself. You're too hard on yourself. Don't. And then there, was it this reading or was it Behati Love Notes? There was this message about like not being bullied. If you're not subscribed to Behati Love Notes, I promise I'm not trying to like upsell right now, but there's a reading that I just did. Or maybe it was to this reading, but I can't really tell. It was about not being bullied into making choices and decisions to really like stabilize yourself. You kind of, if I open up Behati Love Notes, it'll be disrespectful to those who are subscribed. So if you feel called, Behati Love Notes is there for you. There's an additional message there for someone. Okay. Wow. Okay. The card to jump out is, I wasn't expecting this. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. Lizard spirit, dream the world into being. Some of you guys may have stunted yourself when it comes to dreaming. And it's okay, because sometimes it's exhausting. Sometimes it's exhausting intentionally manifesting, right? Just being like, okay, this is what it is that I want. But now that you're here, it's time for you to kind of get a little bit, kind of recycling back to the start of the reading where we were talking about someone who has like stationery and pencils and stuff. Like coloring, like mapping out. It's so funny. Mapping out your future. Scripting. I have a video about how to script. It's like you write out your prophecy, a story, narrating your life, your journey. Someone here is also an author or writer, and the way that you tell stories is so fucking dope. Like, it's so dope. But it's time for you to start releasing this. Like, it's time for you to start bringing it more into light instead of trying to perfect and to outperform and to be the best. Just be you. Oh my God, sorry. Just be you. Just be you. Wow. Okay. Butterfly spirit, transformation is beautiful. I've been seeing a lot of butterflies here lately, but it's also 'tis the season. 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11, 11 showing up twice here. 38 breaks down into 11, and then we have 11 here as well. So 11, 11. Transformation is beautiful. Do you trust who it is that you're becoming? Do you allow yourself to become the version of you that is unfolding right now? Or is this something that you are resenting or that you are resisting? Wow, I love doing this. Let me know down in the comments if I should share more like this. I kind of want to. Oh, it feels good. I don't want to force anything right now. Okay, next card. Oh my God, of course. Cat spirit, claim your independence. This is definitely recognizing the Behati Love Notes reading, because this card came up there too. I'm not trying to push anybody or sway anybody to do it. If you feel called, it's there. I'll link it down below. It's pretty much just exclusive readings. That's kind of what it is I'm doing here, but I just do it for that small group. But yeah, cat spirit, claim your independence. For this, this is so cliche and so obvious, but I'm just hearing like go your own way. I'm also seeing recognition, like recognizing the person who is looking at crystals and peering into the crystals and maybe using crystals to heal or charge them under the moon, under the stars, asking for protection, asking for clarity, asking for powers. You just really are in a place to receive that right now. Or for someone, you need to start unboxing your crystals and start lining them up and going back to them. They might be collecting dust, and that's what spirit doesn't want right now. There's something about like crystal energies and going back into that pure place, especially if you've gone the long haul, the journey. Like if you're like me, I've been shuffling tarot, pulling charts since I was like a wee one, right? But I was really in the thick of it probably when I was like 13, 14, 16. I was just really like immersed in it. This is before the times of, at that point, it was like taboo to even learn witchcraft, you know? And I would go into the library and, you know, grab The Idiot's Guide to Wicca way back in the day, because I was exploring a lot of different religions, and I was allowed to do that. My mom was very supportive of me and was allowing me to choose my way. So I was, you know, just exploring and discovering. The way that I felt about crystals is different now than the way that I feel about crystals today. And it's because sometimes something is very magical, but you forget to wield its magic or go to its magic, utilize its magic because you're so accustomed to it. There's an innocence that you're going back into when it comes to your first love of sorcery or setting intention or wearing crystals or listening to your intuition or reading the Bible. It's whatever works for you. Okay. So on that note, let me just do one last, because you guys know I'm always doing extra, always doing the most. One last word from the Sea Melodies Enchanting Messages from the Mermaids from Jessica Lee. This is it right here. Guidance. Find safety in your beacon's light. Where are you being guided and led to now? And if you don't have an answer, are you okay with waiting for that light beam from the lighthouse to shine over you and say, this is the way, this is a safe place? If not, trying to charge forward is going to be disruptive to the journey. Sometimes it's good to just wait for things to change, wait for things to shift here. And you're allowed. Find safety in your beacon's light. But also I'll allow you guys to take this message however it resonates for you, okay? So I'm sending you guys all of my love. Please give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful for you, if it resonated. Do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would highly recommend that you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Oh my God, if you guys could feel that breeze. But also I'm sending you guys tremendous, tremendous gratitude and positive energy and protection from here at my altar to you wherever you rest. I'm going to light one last candle. This was my personal candle. That's why it doesn't have any one of my labels on there. Keep her going there. Until then, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.